Mike. So when I joined a co-working scene a little over a year ago, I didn't have the money to afford an office, but I knew that I had to be a part of this emerging community. So I took the last $300 I had to join, and for the next month I lived off a diet of canned soup and stale bread. Now, due to Ignite's pitching policy, I can't name the spot of the co-working where I first got my start, but that weird little basement has become my second home and ignited in me an unwavering excitement about co-working and community development. That excitement led me to heading up Boulder Co-working Week, a project that unwittingly led me to becoming the unofficial spokesperson for co-working in Boulder. Now, I want to warn anyone about unwittingly becoming the unofficial spokesperson for something. Now, there might be some of you out there who are asking yourself, Shaw, what the fuck is co-working? And my response to you is, watch your goddamn language. Co-working is a social gathering of people who are working independently, but who share values and who are interested in the synergy that happens when working, talented, like-minded people get together. Now, the origins of co-working can be traced back to the hippie communes of the 60s. This is BDA when it first founded. But I want to take a moment and step back even further, as much as I'd love to dwell on the deviant, orgiastic, drug-fueled practices. I'd like to talk about childhood development. And oh my God, I realize I just made the worst transition in the history of Ignite Boulder. Is it possible to start over? No. Thank God for short attention spans. Now, as I was saying, as a child is developing, there exist two driving impulses that can often be contradictory to one another. On the one hand, there's a child's need to explore their environment, to get out, to interact, and to find their own independence. And on the other hand, there's this imperative drive to not lose connection with the primary caregiver. Now, in the early stages of our life, this takes the role of our parents and our family. And those who are responsible for feeding us, giving us support, giving us love, and protecting us, and keeping us away from harm. Now, this great disconnect occurs when these two impulses come in conflict to one another. The child who reaches for the boiling pot of water is met with a sharp no! And the deep-seated need to touch and explore comes at the risk of threatening the bond to our caregiver, which is a direct threat to our survival. Now, keeping this in mind, let's move forward to a modern world where this struggle continues today in Boulder. In the world of laptops, smartphones, and social media, we've become untethered, and we've seen an explosion in the number of independent freelancers and home workers. A study that was put out last year found that 10.9% of the Boulder population works from home, a higher percentage than anywhere else in the United States. Combined with that, the fact that we are the startup capital of the United States, and we have a population that is driven to go out to explore and to create new careers. But at the same time, too much independence can be a dangerous thing. As humans, as entrepreneurs, as startups, we need collaboration, we need feedback. We need someone to cheer us on, yes, to validate our work, but we need someone to tell us when our idea is utter shit. It's dangerous. The number one reason cited for joining co-working is community interaction. In our search for independence and exploration, we've traded real-time interaction for social networking. And as we've become more nuclear, we've seen a decline in many of our social institutions. One of the biggest examples is churches. The fastest growing religion in the United States is those who subscribe to no religion at all. I point this out because for most of human history, it was our religious institutions that served as our community gathering places. This was especially true for me, as I was raised in the Mormon church. Now, anyone out there who has seen what a rowdy drunk I can be, or anyone lucky enough to have had premarital sex with me can tell you that I am not still a Mormon. As I began to explore the world, I found that my personal values were different from those of the church. My desire to connect in life in a way that was meaningful for me outweighed the desires for a mission and for a family. But even as I ventured out into the world filled with women and pineapples, I never moved beyond my need for community. Even in my most introverted days, the most meaningful experiences in my life were only very valuable if I had someone there to share them with. The reason I become a spokesperson for Boulder Co-working is because I have no reason to sell you on it. I found a situation where I can bring my personal life and work life together in one place. And after years of searching, I feel like I found my tribe. The biggest takeaway that I hope to leave you with is to encourage you to continue finding ways to discover and experience how rich and beautiful the world can be, and to build it for yourself. But please, never do so at the expense of losing community. Thank you.